through primary school, intermediate, and even college for as long as I could. Played sort of as many sports as I could as well. So it was often 2 in the winter, 2 in the summer. So it was volleyball and cricket, and then rugby and basketball predominantly.
Oh look, I think there's numerous benefits, not only physically. I think for me, 2 sports I played most were hockey and cricket. Hand-eye coordination was something that was always spoken about. Particularly, I think, didn't matter what position you played in hockey, being able to use that skill was really valuable, and then transferring it across to the cricket field was obviously invaluable. So look, it was something that I really enjoyed doing as well. I think the break from the sports as well, for me, playing winter and summer sports that were opposite to each other, being able to get away from the cricket environment for a couple of months, focus on a new team, new sport, new skills was really exciting, and then being able to get across, you know, into the hockey field, it was awesome for me.
I think playing you know, a variety of sports can really, I think, add to an overall package of a sports person. Certainly from a physical aspect, where you're constantly challenging yourself in all different ways. But also, as you get older, I think you really appreciate what it does for maybe the mental side, by having so many different parts to what you do to consume yourself, and different focuses rather than just the one thing. So that's why I guess I mentioned schoolwork, where it could be anything really, where you would go and you would have your summer season, and then you'd always look forward to the winter season, where you could sort of put the bat and ball away and then look forward to practicing basketball and the season that was ahead for that. So there are so many, I believe, positive parts to playing a variety of sports and having other interests, whether they're musical or an academic focus as well.
I played everything growing up. It wasn't hockey, cricket from the get-go. It was a bit of everything, and for me, I was always the one that was driving that. Mum always gave us the option of whatever sport we wanted to play. You know, we could go out and do it, and I still remember now with cricket is going out and dragging Dad down to the nets, and I think his arm was about to fall off from the amount of throwdowns I made him throw to me, and catching my bowling and things like that. So I was really lucky that I had great support from my parents that never pushed me into anything, never forced me to train. They were always there to support me and always had me at the front of mind, which I think is really important. Yeah, and I think playing both sports physically obviously was really good to change up my body, I think, as well. Obviously 2 sports are very different from each other, but as well, mentally was a big thing for me. Being able to have a break, being involved in different environments was something really important, and being involved with a different group of people and different challenges was something that kept me mentally fresh.
Yeah, I think it's impossible to become a cricketer at the age of 5, and whenever I guess I'm around younger kids playing cricket, and their parents might ask what's important and these sorts of things, and it sounds a little bit cliche, but I always come back to the most important thing being fun.
Yeah, I think that's something that still remains really important to my training, is keeping things fresh and doing things differently. I actually played a little bit of rugby for the first time ever this year, which was awesome. I absolutely love rugby, and had always had a passion to want to play, but never had the opportunity. So this year I managed to get out for the Petone Ponies in club rugby in Wellington, and that was awesome for me. I was a real rookie, but absolutely loved the challenge of a new sport, new skills. The language as well, and learning things like that was something that was really different to me, and it pushed me outside my comfort zone. So I think that added a different element to me about understanding. I think sometimes, especially with cricket, the lingo you use can be quite confusing for new people. So for me, having my eyes open and experiencing that certainly made me a bit more understanding of people new to a new sport.
You see the children at school when you're growing up, and you come across some that do specialise early and take it very seriously from a young age, and often that comes with that sole focus, so probably through specialisation, and they kind of stop playing. They get to their later years in college, and it's all sort of got a bit too much for them. They lose that enjoyment for cricket or rugby or whatever that sport was, and to this day, you know, in the group, when we do talk about age group cricket, which a lot of the guys played growing up, there were always those names that you would throw around that were just so talented, but did lose that enjoyment for it. And I do think that specialisation early has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, look, I know there's thoughts out there about specialising early can help push their child's case, but I certainly think that the more sports you can play, the better. I think the skills that you learn from a multitude of sports really benefits children later on in life, and I certainly think that parents wanting to focus on their kids should talk to their children. I think at the end of the day it should come down to the child and the player and what they want to do, what sport they want to focus on, because they're the one that have to go out there and practice, play, put their body on the line. So yeah, I certainly think making sure that the player is at the front of mind for everything they do.
For us in the team, we sort of don't talk a lot about, or at all really, about the end result, the winning and the losing. Yes, it's always around, and when you get to the professional level, it becomes slightly heavier in terms of what everybody else sees, but for us as a team, it's much more about focusing on the process, focusing on the sort of cricket that we want to be playing consistently, but at the same time appreciating the fact that nobody wins every game, nobody wins every race, nobody wins every test, and I think there are some good lessons in that you do need to learn to deal with the failures that are inevitable, rather than winning being the only thing and everything. It's actually, you can have a good performance and come second sometimes, and the opposition simply had a better performance, and you sometimes can't control how well the opposition played. So trying to look at it with a holistic view rather than just hard and fast and this is everything. I think it can help you enjoy the sport a little bit more as well. When it's purely results based, whether you only enjoy it when you win and you're sulking when you lose, to me that's not a very healthy thing, and it is, I guess, at the highest level of the sport becomes more of a challenge at times to deal with, but makes it all that more important to address.